Hi everyone, it's Tanya here with Memory Lane Keepsakes, and welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a fabulous day. I want to welcome any of my first time visitors as well as my current subscribers that keep coming back to support my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today, as always. Alright, so today, as you can see from my sign, this is a video about Cricut. So this is a Cricut play is what I'm calling this video. I want to share a project that I recently just did with my Cricut, and hopefully you guys will adopt this project and want to incorporate it in something for your family and friends as well. So first up, I have purchased these pouches. So this is what the pouch looks like. I have this pouch right here that I purchased from Target from the dollar spot, and it was only $1, and I really liked the pouch. I was in the process of actually looking for the storage bins. They had like these little cases. Now Target did not have those the day that I was looking for those, but I did come across these pouches, which are reusable Ziploc bags. So I went ahead and picked these up here, and you can see that it's really thin and flimsy, which I really love because that means you can store it in any area and it does not take up a lot of space, which is great. Also, I like the fact that it was also plain. At first glance, when I saw these pouches, I thought that the insert that had the mask was a part of the Ziploc bag here, and it wasn't. It's actually just an insert. So here's the insert right here, as you can see, but you can remove that or you could choose to keep it in there. So I did remove them, but I kept this one in so you can see what to look for if you're looking for these pouches. And so I do like the fact that they are very easy to open, and it has a good amount of storage inside here, and then you can also close it very easily as well. Now I'm going to share with you what I did with these pouches. So what I did is I chose to bring out my Cricut, and I chose to personalize these pouches because I feel like it needed to be a little bit more upscale. So what I did is I kept the family in mind and picked up a few extra pouches, and this is what I created. So I created one for my oldest daughter, as you can see. I have placed her name on here using permanent Cricut vinyl, and I chose to go with black to keep it unique and simple. And then I also added this beautiful flower right here. So I really adore how this turned out. I am loving this. Very easy and simple project. So this is one of them here. The next one that I have is this one right here, which is my baby girl, and she loves cake, which is a cupcake. As you guys know, if you have been following my channel, you will know that my little Aaliyah loves cupcakes. So I added this image to represent her. And then for myself, I have placed my name at the bottom here, and I've added a pencil because you guys know I love anything crafty related, so that indicates that there. So mine is closer to the edge, but you can feel free to place your name or your words or whatever it is that you want to place on your pouch anywhere on here. I could have placed it in the center if I wanted to, more off to the left if I wanted, but I kept it at the right. So that's what I did there. Last but not least, I also created one for my husband. He loves boxing as well as myself, and this is what I made for him. So you have the boxing gloves here at the top, and then you have his name. So I love this. So those are my pouches. Next up, I'm going to share with you how I created these pouches. So first, what you need to do is you need to open up your Cricut Design Space program. So now I already have that open up, and as you can see, I have the images that I just shared my completed project with you on my pouches. These are the names and images that I chose to place on my completed project. And all I did here was type the name and add an image. So what I'm going to do now is hide these images, and we're going to start from scratch so that way I can share the project from start to finish. And all you do to do that is you will click on that image and you will close the eyes. And by me doing that, I didn't delete the image. All I did there was I closed the image from showing on the design page itself for now. But if I want to bring it back, all I have to do is open up the eyes, and as you can see, it appears back. So I'm going to click that again, and I'm going to close that for now. And I still have this image up because I want to use this as an indicator here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move this one out the way for now. And I'm going to type a name. Alright, so I have a name typed up right now. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead and grab an image. And I'm going to type the word flower. So it brings up all the different flowers, and if you have already purchased the design space, you will see that the images come up for you where you don't have to purchase a lot of them, and it's available to you. There are also some free images in here as well. Then there's some images that you can purchase if you choose to. Now you can see there's a lot of different flowers to choose from, but I'm going to go ahead and go back to the top because I want to use an image that I already have used already. So I want to use that same beautiful flower that I used for my oldest daughter, which is Jasmine's name, and I'm going to go ahead and click this right here and insert image. And it takes it a moment for it to come up, but once it do, you'll see it appear on your page. Alright, that's the image right there, and you can see it's in two different areas there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this name right here, and I'm going to bring this here. I'm going to resize this, and I'm going to take the name here, and I want to change that font, and I'm trying to see what font did I use when I did it. So this one here, it looks like I might have used, come over here to the font area because I'm not seeing the font name on the side there, and I want to go to the system ones here. This will show the different fonts that I have that I could choose from, and I want to choose one that really stands out for me. Now choosing a font can be sometimes difficult because there's so many fonts to go about choosing one that you really like. So it's pretty much trial and error at this point where you want to choose a font that you really like. So I'm going to try, let's see what this one looks like, the Jealous Script. I want to see what that one looks like on here. And you're going to see the name it should change. Type that on here. And there it is, and it's going to change in just a moment. There it is, so it changed, and I do like the way that looks, so I want to kind of keep it consistent throughout. So what I want to do is I want to enlarge this image here. So I'm going to go ahead, you can pull the arrows down like this, or you can come back if that's too much. So I'm pulling the arrows down, as you can see, and I want to bring that in just a little bit. I feel like those letters are a little too far apart. So what I want to do is I want to go to my line spacing, and I want to bring them in just a bit here, and the letter space is right here at the top, and I want to actually come down. If you go up, it makes it more wide between the spaces of your letters, so you want to actually come down, and it's going to bring it closer together. I think that's a good amount right there. I really like the way that looks. It's tight but not too tight, but a good spacing between the letters. And I also want to take time, and I want to resize this flower here. I don't want this flower to be too big, but before I do that, I want to actually take this flower, and I actually want to duplicate it because I believe I'm going to add 2 flowers to this project here. So in order to do that, all I did was click the flower, and I hit the duplicate button there, and you'll see another one pop up, and now I have 2 flowers. So you can do that. You can add as many as you would like. I want to change the size, and I'm going to come down just a little bit here. I like the size of that one, and I want to bring this one in just a little bit as well. And I may just go ahead and add a third one because I really like the way that looks. So let's go ahead and add a third one. So I want to duplicate this same size right here. And you can see that I added another one there. So now I don't need this anymore. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and close the eye for this one so I can get it off my page. And I want to see what this will look like. So what I'm doing is I'm going to place my flowers above the name. And I still want to make this a little bit smaller. And I'm really liking the size of that, so I'm going to duplicate this one again. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and delete that one because I don't want to use that one now. Just trying to get a feel for where I want to place my flowers. So right here you can kind of decide where you want to put them. It's up to you. You can also rotate the flower too if you want to, like I'm doing now by using the rotating handle there. And I want to bring this a little closer in. Alright, so you can see we have a beautiful image right here, and all I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and highlight this whole thing here, and by doing that all you got to do is pretty much drag and it's going to connect all of them. And for me to do that I'm going to hit group, and that's going to make them move together at one time, but they're still not attached. So for me to attach them I need to go to the bottom right here, and I want to go ahead and hit the word attach. It has a little paper clip above it. So I have attached that, and so now I'm going to go ahead and go to my area where I normally would go ahead and get ready to cut this out. So I'm going to hit the word make it at the top right hand corner. And you can see the image right here, and it's a pretty decent size, but I may want to make it a little bit smaller. So what I want to do now, and you can see how this moves all in one place here, so what I want to do now is go back and hit cancel to go out of there because I'm not ready to cut yet. And I want to take this image and I want to make it a little bit smaller. In order for me to do that I want to take this handle and come back up just about here. I think that's a good size about there. That's really nice. I think that's going to be really gorgeous. So I have that now and I'm happy with it. And don't forget to hit save as well, because you want to make sure you save your work. Now when you get ready to cut this, before you do that you want to go to the word make it, because I'm happy with the size of my image here. And this is what it's going to look like. Now in order to cut Cricut permanent vinyl, you don't have to mirror your image, because it's going to go ahead and pretty much be the same way that you see it right here on this screen here. Because the permanent Cricut vinyl that I'm using, I want it to face the direction that you see right here. Now if you was doing the iron-on, it'd be a little different. You would have to mirror it based on the different vinyl that you use. It's different rules for the different vinyl that you choose to use in your projects. So for this case I wouldn't need to do that. So this is the project that I would need to cut right here. In order for me to do that I would need to go ahead and hook up my Cricut machine and go ahead and place my vinyl on the mat and cut it at this point. At that point, once you insert your mat, once the indicator tells you to do that, you will hit continue, and then it will go ahead and cut your image out. At that point, that's when you will need to bring out your Cricut tools and go to work from there. So now at this point, we're going to go ahead and load up the Cricut. So I've already prepared my mat. So here's my mat with my vinyl already on the front of it. You want to make sure you have the shiny side up for your permanent vinyl or whatever color you choose to use. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. I've already have my dial set to where I need to have it, but it's always going to come up and ask you to set the material, which is the knob on your machine. So everything's already set on my machine. I have it set in between vinyl and iron-on, so it's right in the middle. So now I'm going to go ahead and load up my machine, and I'm going to go ahead and insert and have the machine take the mat and go ahead and start the work by hitting the Cricut button. At this point, the Cricut machine is going ahead and cutting out the image that I've already placed and attached together. It takes a few minutes to do that, sometimes just a few seconds, but this project is going to come out fabulous. So I'm really excited to share this with you guys today. So this is how the image came out from the Cricut. So we have this image right here. This is strictly the permanent black vinyl, and you can see the image a little bit there. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and peel off the vinyl. And I'm going to go ahead and start weeding out the areas that don't need to be a part of this image here. So let's go ahead and do that now. I have already pulled some of my Cricut tools right here. So some of the tools that I have picked up are my Cricut tools here to help me with my weeding as far as taking out those areas that don't need to be a part of this image here. We also have the pair of tweezers here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing that now. So I'm going to start with this tool right here, and you can do this a lot of different ways. I also have here my transfer paper that you will need. You need the transfer sheets. It's better to use the same brand if you can. And then I also have an extra piece from another one that I did. It's good to keep these so that way you'll have something to place your vinyl that you're going to throw out on, so you can pile it up on there. And I also have another piece that I can hold down when I'm removing the vinyl as well, so that way my hands are not touching the permanent sticky areas, because it's real sticky. So now I'm going to go ahead and start doing this. Hopefully you'll be able to see this. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. So I'm going to go ahead and start the process there so you can see a little bit of it. So I'm going to go ahead and start with what's easier. You can also use your Cricut Bright Pad if you have one. But a lot of times it's easier, and you also can lift it up this way as well, not even use the tweezers if you choose not to. Sometimes it'll come right up for you, like the O is trying to completely come up. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and just remove the part of the O right here. I'm gonna lift this on up here, and you can see that I'm able to grab that, and I'm going to lay this on here, and then a part of this E, and I have a part of this A. So right now I just want to focus on the name because the flower takes a little bit longer to do. All right, I'm going to go ahead and weave this off camera and come back and show you what it looks like before we add it to our final project. But so far this is what I have, and I'll be back to share with you what it looks like when it's already finished with the weeding part. So I am back to share with you the weeding process. So I didn't want to go through the whole spill with you all because this is actually the hardest part to actually do throughout doing this vinyl project. But once you get past this, your project is well worth it as far as going through this step right here. So this is the last of the letters, and I'm taking this part right here off. And as you see, I removed that piece there. This is what the image looks like right here. The same image that I shared with you, how I created it on the Cricut design space. So that's what you're going to be left with once you remove all the vinyl pieces that you don't need. And then you'll see why I said keep that extra labeling piece there that came off a previous project, so you can add these little vinyl pieces that you're going to throw out, so you'll have somewhere to stick them. So that's what's left over from that. Now I showed you this piece previously. This was actually too small, so I went back and I recut a piece from my Cricut adhesive paper here. This is the adhesive paper, so that way you'll be able to transfer tape. It has grid lines on there, so that way it'll help you be able to transfer your image very easily. So what I did was I measured my image based on the grid lines, and I cut this to the size that I needed it. And so that's what I've done here. So you can see this is my finished piece right here so far after weeding, and this is the new transfer sheet that I have here. So now what I'm going to do is grab this image here and take this off of here to adhere it to my project. But before I do that, I'm actually going to pick up this piece and remove the mask out of here, the mask insert, so that way I'll be able to see the grid lines inside on my mat here. And I'm now going to go ahead and remove this. This is the transfer tape that I'm removing. I'm going to place this. Do not throw this piece right here away. Hang on to that. This is the backing from the transfer tape. I'm going to, because you can reuse this, I'm going to place my image on here. I want to make sure it's straight, so I'm going to line it up to the grid marks here. Move this out the way. And I want to line this up so that way it'll be straight. And if you don't get it right the first time, it's better to go ahead and get it right the first time, honestly, because you don't want to have to go back and forth. And so now I'm going to go ahead and lay this on there. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and pick this up, trying to make sure no air bubbles are inside of this here. I'm going to pick this up. And what I'm going to do now is go ahead and lay it back on that sheet that I told you to keep, so that way I can go ahead and use my Cricut tool here to try to get the vinyl to transfer to that adhesive transfer tape. I'm going to smooth over it. This helps a great deal. And as you know, I'm doing it from the back side opposed to the front, but you can also do the front if you choose to. It's not going to hurt it at all. And that should be good right there. Now you're going to notice that some of it may try to lift up, and if so, you just come back down before your tape does that. So now I want to kind of see my placement where I'm going to put it. And for this one here, instead of putting it in a corner, I'm actually going to place this one in the center. I actually like this one better in the center because I added those extra flowers there. I really love the way this turned out. So now what I want to do is peel this transfer tape back, and I'm going to take that piece right there off. And I'm going to add my image here, and you can see it comes off very easily, and you can kind of do it at an angle, and if some try to lift up, see, it comes off real easily there. And if you have to lay some of it down, that's not a problem, and just kind of do it at an angle so that way your tape will catch those pieces. And now you want to also bring in another little piece here, so that way it's not so sticky to the touch. So I'm going to use this as a guide for me. And some pieces are still trying to come up, so you want to kind of go back over it. So as you work it, you will see that you are transferring that image to your transfer tape. Okay, so the O doesn't want to see here. Sometimes if you also bend or curl the paper a little bit, that also kind of helps you to release the vinyl to the transfer tape. So you'll see that I'm almost done. Voila, it's already on there, and now it's already on the transfer tape, as you can see. So I have that. So now I'm going to go ahead and remove that piece. Once you place this down, make sure you get the item or whatever it is you want to add your image to. Make sure it's perfect, because you do not want to go back and have to lift this up, because once you lay this down, it's pretty much done. This is not removable adhesive vinyl. This is permanent. So I want to make sure I center and line this up perfectly. So I am going to look and see exactly where I have it, and I actually like it about here. So I'm gonna lay this down. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and come across here. Making sure all those air bubbles are out. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and lift this up. And voila, we have a finished project here, and this is what it turned out like. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and also let me know if you choose to do this project, how your project turned out and what you made. This is Tanya here with Memory Lane Keepsakes. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Feel free to comment down below. I love to read your comments and also give feedback as well as answering them. In addition to that, I do have an Instagram page, which is Memory Lane Keepsakes 2017. I would love for you to also follow me on there. And if you don't mind, click the bell so you'll be notified when I release new videos. Thank you so much for taking our time to watch this Cricut Play video. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.